Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to Logical Republican for another day. Again, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please do hit the like button. The subscribe button is right there as well if you'd like to get this on a regular basis. And if you agree with me, share with a friend who is like-minded. And if you know somebody who is completely polar opposite from you, share with them and just piss them off. That would make my day and probably yours as well. Let's dive right on into this. Joe Biden, stumbling, mumbling Joe. Again, we all saw the debate. We all saw the fallout. We've seen the Democrat press and the liberal press and the mainstream press fall all over themselves. Like, where did this come from? He hasn't been like this for the past 1,000 days. No, oh my God, all of a sudden, yeah, right. Who's been making these decisions for the last 4 years? Who's been making policy the last 4 years? It sure as hell was not Joe. So, as they were talking about with Trump many times, the 25th Amendment, taking the president out of his chair, leaving the Oval Office, kicking his butt out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay. Mike Pence was in the back seat, ready to go. Mike Pence would have been probably a serviceable president. He looked somewhat presidential, even though he was stiff. But think about this for a second. If they take out Joe, you get Kamala. Now, if that does not scare the living crap out of you, I know it scares the living crap out of me, even if it's only for another 6 months, okay? But with all of the talk about Joe being replaced on the ticket in November, they're basically conceding the next 6 months that he's going to live out that time and he's going to shuffle his way to the toilet every morning and get through it. So if they replace him on the ticket, there's all kinds of talk about who that could be. Okay, I guess the front runner would be Gavin Newsom. Okay, Gavin Newsom is a fraud, and I will get to that in the coming days. But who else would there be? I mean, Gavin probably has the biggest name recognition. I mean, they're not going to go with Cuomo. They're certainly not going to go with Bernie or Pocahontas. Oh, maybe AOC, she would be the right choice. Sure, okay. Well, where's Kamala in all of this? Well, I was watching something late last night, and there was this whole thing about Kamala's people just putting things out there that she's feeling disrespected, that her name is not in the running for taking over the head of the Democratic Party and running for president. She's being overlooked, she's bashed, she's unwanted. Well, we both know, and everybody knows, Joe is on the way out. So ideally, Kamala would be next in line, right? I mean, she's kind of the co-pilot here. But the problem is Kamala, and I've said this before, Kamala is the modern day equivalent of Dan Quayle. Dan Quayle was, oh God, just bumbling and just, anyways, his public persona and his overall feel-good rating was a step above zero, right about where Kamala is. But, Democrats do what they do, right? They never look in the mirror. It's never their fault. They deny, they deflect. And in her case, well, of course she has to use the race card because she's a victim. But remember this for a second, okay? Like Obama, okay? Obama, the half-black president. Remember that, half-black. She didn't come, like Obama, from generations of racism and discrimination. No. Her dad was not born in this country. Her dad, who's the black part of her parental units, is from Jamaica, okay? He came to the country in the 60s to go to school. I think he went to Berkeley or something like that, and he got his PhD. Now, she always claimed growing up poor, blah, 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 blah. Her dad is a frickin' professor at Stanford. Yes, okay, her parents were separated. But come on, there are there are child support laws in this country, and I'm sure somebody got a check and he took her shopping and all of this. But, it's odd that we never hear about the guy. But again, he's from Jamaica, all right? Her mom is Indian, from India, but I remember during the campaign years ago, she said her mom raised her as black. What the heck? An Indian lady from India raising her daughter as black. Okay. Anyways, her media farm is just really playing this off. She's the victim. Always, always the victim. A poor black lady that the system doesn't want. The Democrat system just, they don't want a black woman to run. Oh, shut up. Never mind that the only reason she was on the ticket in the first place is because Stacey Abrams was a much worse choice when Biden said he was going to pick a black woman to run with him. Okay? I mean, that's pretty much it. It was her or Stacey Abrams, and Stacey Abrams' public ratings were just horrible after her whole, thing in the state of Georgia where she wouldn't give up the fact that she actually lost the election and was whining and whining and whining about the whole thing. But I mean, who else were they going to select? Maxine Waters? The woman who said she was going to vote to impeach Trump before he was even inaugurated? Anyways, this whole thing is just silly. Just get real. The woman has no debate skills. She has no people skills. Nobody likes her. The polling numbers when she was running for president were like below Mayor Pete Buttigieg. And now she's going to run for president in her eyes. She should be the party's choice. Anyways, this whole thing is a mess. Joe Biden probably, if he was your neighbor, you'd probably think he was an okay guy. But to run the country? Hell no. So this is going to be a quandary. It's going to be really, really interesting. I suggest getting some popcorn and tuning into your local TV and sitting on the edge of your seat as this whole thing unfolds. Kamala is likely not going to be the choice. Joe will likely at some point be forced to step down, kind of like when in 2020, when they made everybody else step back, when they made Mayor Pete Buttigieg step back, when they made Bernie step back, when they made Pocahontas step back, so Joe would have a clear path. My guess is it's going to be Gavin, but that's just my guess. I don't think they'll invoke the 25th Amendment and make Joe step down while he's still in office unless he actually kicks the bucket, and then she'll step up. But we'll see. And actually, that would be really kind of funny if he did kick the bucket. I don't mean that literally, but if he did kick the bucket and then Kamala moved into the presidential suite, and then they would be stuck with her. That would be hilarious because that would throw a monkey wrench into the whole thing. And Kamala would be the choice, and she would have no chance at all in the general election. Of course, people would vote for her because she's a Democrat, because she's this, because she's that. It would be the old French poodle model where people will vote for a French poodle rather than the better candidate. So anyways, that's the whole thing about Kamala today. I hope you like what you see, like what you hear. If you do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. See ya.